today, Kimberly? Ah, of course, the sedative. Some people experience quite a reaction. Let me guess. Dreams? The drug is known to cause hallucinations, nothing long-term. You'll be fine this afternoon. Try being good to yourself for a change, won't you? Kimberly.
I'm sorry, honey. We're almost done. The detectives will talk to you in a minute. Now, just relax.
Oh.
Just a little longer, okay? Good girl. Good girl.
Kimberly Jansen, 24, single mother. It appears you did have intercourse with someone.
Didn't have intercourse.
And the assailant was known to you.
I told you.
No signs of force. There were no bruises.
He drugged me. He's a doctor.
These are very serious charges you're making. Now, I have a job to...
This doctor, he's pretty well off?
Yeah, he's rich.
Okay, we need background. What led up to this?
So, where's your kid through all this?
At my father's.
Okay, let's go through the details of last night.
I ran into him after class.
What class?
I take nursing classes at the hospital. I bumped into him. And then I went to the pep rally with Heather and my boyfriend.
Ladies and gentlemen, your hometown team! Your own Rickerby Rockets!
He was there, loving the attention.
Way to go, Doc.
Not staying for the rally? Not a fan of civic pride, Kimberly?
Oh, I'm going down to the Highland Dog to shake my civic pride.
Have fun.
Sounds like you know the doc pretty well.
What's that supposed to mean?
All right, did you go directly from the high school to the Howling Dog?
I didn't stay.
Do you have a job?
Yeah, I work at the gas station. That's where I found out about Billy.
Hey, Denise, what does a guy have to do to get some gas pumped around here?
He gets off his and pumps it himself. Hey, what happened to the packing plant?
I didn't know you were coming in tonight. Geez, baby, I forgot my wallet. I'll be right back.
No way. You get on in here and convince me to give you a loan. What happened to work?
Robbie said he wanted the overtime.
Second back looking for you.
Really?
How much time had elapsed since your last beer?
How badly were you injured?
Bad enough that I needed to go to the hospital. Where's Heather? What happened to you? Billy. Oh, big surprise.
Heather, they need you in 34 right away.
You'll be okay.
So what does the other fellow look like?
Worse.
Let's take a look at that, shall we?
I don't think it's too bad.
Really? Over here.
He's always flirted with me. He bandaged my hand, and then he insisted on giving me a needle. It was a sedative, he said.
Sedative? Why? This is what, at least an hour after the fight with Billy?
What, am I, a doctor?
And then what?
Kimberly.
That's enough for today. The hospital has an excellent counselor you can talk to, Kimberly, if you need to. We'll be in touch.
Well, what do you think?
I don't know, a doctor in his own hospital?
Well, she's pretty unreliable, isn't she? I mean, a little drinking, bad breakup.
We got our guy down there to do some checking around. Get a blood sample from the doc.
That's crazy. Dr. Darien. But he's our doctor.
What are you doing fooling around with a rich guy like that for?
I didn't encourage him. He injected me with something. I couldn't move. Look, I took my underwear into the police. They're gonna send a sample through the lab. Absolute proof.
How do you figure?
It's DNA, Dad. It doesn't lie.
Then what?
The town will find out what kind of a freak's been looking after all of us.
They'll run him out.
They'll lock him up.
Deep breath. And again. And again.
Hey, Doc,
Rod,
can I speak to you for a minute?
are you all right?
Well, it's kind of private.
The nurse will be right in.
Kimberly Jansen is accusing you of...
What?
She claims you drugged her and assaulted her last night.
Me?
She filed a complaint in Youngsfield, so it's out of my hands. Otherwise, I'd have handled it.
How could anyone believe that I would...
Well, somebody did. Or she did somebody. They found semen in her underwear.
She was in to see me last night. I don't know what to say. I mean, of course, I didn't.
Hey, Doc. I know there's no way, okay?
She, had a quarrel with a boyfriend.
Oh, yeah?
Her hand was injured.
Really?
She'd been drinking.
No surprise there.
Mike De Beer had a head injury. I was on duty alone.
Hey! I'm bleeding to death here! My hand, I'm bleeding to death! Please, I've had this
Yes, will you please keep your voice down?
But I've been cut.
Just try and stay calm, okay? Take a seat and someone will see you.
No, it's cut. It's really bad. I need you to look at it.
She was agitated, belligerent. She demanded treatment. Getting her dealt with as quickly as possible seemed the best choice. She requested a sedative, something to, as she put it, knock her on her ass. I told her to go home and sleep it off. But she demanded I do something, anything, to get her to sleep. She was adamant, and frankly, I was worried about the trouble she might cause if she wasn't calmed. I relented, gave her something. Something strong, but very safe and reliable. As I told her, sedative sometimes causes amnesia, even hallucinations, which in this instance appears to have happened.
Did she ever try to kiss you or seduce you, anything like that? You ever get the feeling that she was interested? You know, white trash girl tries to snag rich doctor type of thing?
Kimberly flirts with me all the time. Most younger doctors have to cope with the occasional crush from a patient, but we're trained to deal with that sort of thing.
I believe you, Doc.
I came here to live in a just society. One free of persecution.
Doc, there's one more thing. They want me to take a blood sample for a DNA test.
She's got a lot of nerve.
No, they asked for it. The detectives from Youngsfield.
I delivered her baby. I counseled her when her mother died. I still care for her family.
I know it's an awful shame. But the thing to do is to stop this before it started. Give them a blood test. Let me do some investigating on my own, find out what her game is, all right?
Of course. But I've got a lot of patients stacked up. I really don't have the time right now.
Oh, it's no problem. I'll drop back later. Hey, don't worry. I'm on it.
Yeah, I was with Kimmy last night. Is that a crime? Old neighbors again when I got home?
So you went home right after the prep rally?
No, we went to the Howling Dog for a bit.
Hey, wait a minute.
She's just...
She better keep her hands up if she wants to live to breathe another day. Come on, baby, let's get out of here.
I gotta work at 12. I trade shifts with Robbie. Aren't you working tonight?
No, Denise is. Oh, come on. Come on.
I don't have enough time.
Enough time has never been one of your strong suits anyway. Come on, girl.
I always knew the guy was no good, but Kimmy saw something in him.
So you're saying that if Kimberly knew that he was two-timing her, she'd be out to get even?
You know Kimmy.
Oh, she wanted to kill him. That's for dead certain. I was feeling sick, so I called her in to cover me.
Don't make it more than it is, Kimmy. We never said nothing about 100% not seeing other people.
I opened up my life to you! We were making plans!
No, you were making plans!
She followed them. She never mentioned that in her statement.
Kimmy blew that out of proportion, just like she does with everything. I want to give a friend a ride home, that's the way it's gonna be. I don't belong to nobody. I'm getting a little tired of these clutching after me.
She didn't catch up? You didn't team up and make everything nice and right?
Do you really think that piece of crap she drives is gonna catch up with me?
You prepared to take a blood test to back that story up?
Blood test? I wasn't driving drunk. Is that what she's saying?
Kimmy, you were going to be late for class. Did you study for the test?
Yeah, I did.
Could I ask you to label this up for me, please, Dolores?
Of course, Doctor.
Thank you.
Name?
Myself.
Nothing serious, I hope.
No, not at all.
How quickly can this be dealt with? I don't want this ridiculous charge getting out there.
Oh, gee, Doc, I'm sort of supposed to be there when you give the sample.
Well, you don't trust your own doctor?
It'll be fine. You know, the way I see it, you put letters after a man's name, letters like MD, or in my case, PD. Them letters can make the ladies awful friendly.
If I wanted something different from my wife, I've better offers than that.
Point well taken. Oh, you coming to Brian's stag? I'll see you there.
So Grandpa harvests his grain, and then he puts it on his truck and takes it over to that elevator right there, you see?
And they bake our bread from it?
No, honey. Then they put it on a train, and sometimes that train goes all the way to the ocean. And sometimes they put it on a ship and they go to places like Russia and China. Big one. All right. You have a good day, sweetheart. What do you want?
I'm here to tell you there was no DNA match between the individual you accused and the jizz in your...
It had to match.
Well, it didn't. Maybe if you gave me a list of all the other guys it could have been?
What the hell kind of cop are you? Trusting a fat, crooked prick like Kresge? I demand a proper test!
What?
The DNA test? Dr. Darien, the man who me? Is any of this ringing a bell?
You can't demand another test. He volunteered the sample. He didn't have to give squat to anyone.
Settle down. The test results came back from the lab. The doctor did not match with the test results. You might want to rethink your story, Kimberly.
He's lying.
Kimberly, a lot of your story does not check out. A lot of it doesn't.
Did you see it? Did you see him take the blood sample?
Officer Kresge did.
And Officer Kresge is our point man on this one.
And he's also friends with the doctor.
Kresge.
Yeah, Rod, it's Murray here. Listen about the Dr. Darien case, the alleged... Can you give me the name of the nurse who took the blood sample, please?
Is there a problem?
Just want to ask her a few questions about it.
We're talking about a really busy man here. He's got the health care of the entire town to deal with. And Dr. Darien's word is good enough for me.
His word? Are you out of your mind?
Is that Kimberly? Where the hell do you get off assassinating a good man's character?
Either you test him properly, or I go to the media.
Okay, that's it. Listen, I'll drive out there myself. It's best for everyone I get this cleared up as soon as possible.
Doc's not going to want to do that.
Yeah, well, let me handle that, okay, officer?
The hell have you gotten yourself into now?
The charges. The police are interrogating me. What are you up to?
You cheat on me and you expect me to worry about you?
I told the police if they find anything on you that it ain't mine. So whose is it, Kimmy?
You doing a little cheating of your own?
Screw you!
I'm not part of this, you know, and I told the police that.
Part of what?
You scam, Kim. You lying scam.
Taking another supervised test would clear things up. It would make sure that Officer Kresge's reputation, as well as yours, is preserved.
That's fine. This is all rather ironic.
Ironic, how's that?
I was born in Indonesia. My parents were coffee planters. Did you know that?
Can't say I did.
When the Europeans were there, you see, we had a justice system. When they left, the law of the jungle returned. Justice can be bought and sold. If a man accuses you and he has powerful friends... My parents worked a lifetime and lost everything.
I'm real sorry to hear that.
That's precisely why I came to this country, to escape injustice, yet here I am, unjustly accused.
Right now, we have an accusation, nothing more, okay? Now, it turns out you're innocent. Your accuser is going to have some real serious explaining to do. You got my word on that, Doctor.
It's Richard. I'll do that, Gina. Kimberly, I really need to apologize to you. The dosage on the sedative I gave you was way too strong. Your dreams must have been very vivid. But how can you possibly think I would do such a thing? I delivered Lizzie, for God's sake.
DNA doesn't lie. You got the wrong guy.
No way, that's impossible.
Even the doctor says the drug causes wild dreams, hallucinations, even memory loss.
I saw it with my own eyes. He was slamming my head into the back of the table.
Come on, Kimberly. It wasn't the doctor. It wasn't Billy. Who was it really, Kimberly?
Why are you all protecting him?
You hold it right there, young lady. I was there. I saw it with my own eyes. I saw the blood come out of his arm. You've got no DNA match, no physical evidence, no witnesses, no bruises. Even your own friends call you a gold digger.
You're protecting him.
No, you're destroying the reputation of a man everyone loves.
He'll do it again!
If he charges you with slander, I'll lock you up myself.
Don't you know he'll do it again?
Unless you tell me what really happened. This case is closed.
Sorry, Kim, the customers aren't coming anymore.
Kimberly! Kim! Lizzie!
Lizzie. Lizzie, where's Mom? I don't know what else to do. See, her mother's passed and there's her daughter to look after. She's been like this for 2 weeks.
Good doctor makes house calls. Sweet feelings, Kimberly.
Here you have it.
Slow down, Rod. Slow down.
Don't give me that tight upper class bullshit. To Brian.
Where's Brian?
Last I saw him, he was passed out.
Don't embarrass yourself, Rod.
It's not for me, sweetheart. It's for tight here. Working. She's embarrassing the poor boy. So embarrassed.
Some people experience quite a reaction. Dreams. The drug is known to cause hallucinations in the long term.
Kimberly! You're a little
The
jiggy
dosage
around?
of the sedative I gave you was way too strong. Your dreams must have been very vivid.
Maybe if you gave me a list of all the other guys it could have been.
Try being good to yourself for a change. This case is closed.
So, how's things?
I want to come home.
You ready?
I think so.
And that other business? You have to think of Lizzie now. time to move on.
She order pizza? Don't worry, I got it. So where are you going from here, Kimmy?
What do you mean?
You gonna pay your bills? Eat, live.
Don't know. I'll find something, I guess.
Well, I'm just happy you dropped this Dr. Darien thing.
I didn't drop it. He beat me. They beat me.
Well, you're doing the right thing. Just move on.
I just wanted him to pay for what he did.
Assuming it happened the way you said it did. It's not like you never had sex before. I mean, it's not like he beat you up. I mean, this guy delivered your baby. He's already seen more than any boyfriend you've ever had.
Are you kidding me?
What? Don't you got a scrap of self-respect left?
No, I don't. He took it and I want it back. You don't know what it feels like to be helpless. To let somebody do whatever they want to you, to be inside you, to violate you, and you can't do a damn thing about it.
Kimmy.
You are such a f***ing guy. My name's Kimberly. I called.
I know who you are.
Well, I just moved up into town and I wanted to finish what I started.
You know you're not going to graduate this year. You have a lot to make up.
I know.
Okay, guys, dinner's in 15 minutes.
Where'd you come from before here? Rickerby. Where? Rickerby. It's a ways from here. Why did you move? Because my mom told a story that no one believed. Like a lie? Yeah, I guess so.
Excuse me? Oh, that's fantastic of you. Thank you. Excuse me? Look, I just want to know something. Oh. I just need to know one thing about my case. Look, my name's Kimberly Jansen. I was wondering if there's anything I could do to change the status of my case. My case number is AH7485393.
Case is closed.
I know that, but I'm wondering if there's anything I can do to reopen it.
Prosecutor won't. Police won't. The case is closed.
I'm getting that. What if I have new evidence?
I have a Kimberly Jansen here with a closed case. Uh-huh. Okay. Prosecutor says if something significant surfaces, the office might take another look.
Well, that's all I needed to know. Thanks for your trouble.
Alone. You and Lizzie short for food?
It's for a private investigator.
Ah, Kimberly. I thought we'd put that behind us.
Yeah? Everyone else did. Nobody knows what I have to live with. Or what Lizzie's going through.
If he's as sleazy as you make out, he'll pay.
What?
Just keep it quiet. He'll pay off like a Vegas slot machine.
I'm not doing this for the money.
Yeah. It's justice. Just as long as you get a new truck.
That's not what I'm after.
Well, that's your best shot.
Listen up. I'm gonna prove he did this, whether you help me or not.
We'll only get the police interested if we come up with something fresh.
Okay.
And this kind of investigation doesn't come cheap. We need some other kind of DNA sample. Hair, saliva, something. You probably haven't been the only one.
Who else would be stupid enough to come forward?
It's a small town.
No one wants the reputation I got.
Glass is tinted. This distance, he can't see.
I was thinking, if a person could check the records of every woman between, say, 14 and 40, who've ever stayed overnight at the hospital but haven't been back.
I don't follow.
Lucy! Heather, think about it. If they haven't been back to see Dr. Darien, maybe there's a good reason.
I don't know. We've been sitting here for like 15 friggin' minutes. It's like we're invisible.
See that sign over there?
Yeah?
Your friend tried to steal his shirt off our doctor's back, and I'm not serving you.
Next time he's with your daughter or your sister, think about what he's doing.
There's 8 of them.
Only 8?
Spent one night, never been back. You didn't get this from me.
Hey, Carrie. How you doing?
Fine.
You used to see Dr. Darien at the hospital. You stayed over there one night? You don't go see him anymore. Why?
How'd you get that information?
I need your help.
I got nothing to say.
Ever have nightmares, Carrie? Dreams seem a little too real?
Leave me alone.
Come on, Carrie. Hey, you used to go to Dr. Darien, right? Oh, come on, why'd you stop going to him?
Good morning. I'm Dr. Darien. How can I help you?
It's my back, Doc. Been giving me real trouble lately.
Let's Let's take a look, shall we?
Thanks for the note. My boss won't give me any trouble now. Oh, could you put this in a hospital envelope so he doesn't think I did it myself?
Thanks. I wanted you to be the first to know. It's an offer I just can't pass up. And after the difficulty I've had here, well, a fresh start would be very nice.
How soon would you go?
Well, we have one or two things to iron out, but it could happen very quickly.
Could I talk to you, ma'am?
Do I know you?
No, but we both know.
His wife sent you?
No,
That girl, the one that accused him.
I could make it worth your while.
Not the way he can. He's a nice guy. A dirty little man, living in a very dirty world.
Now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. If I should die before I wake, I pray the Lord my soul to take.
That's a pretty negative bedtime thought.
Yeah, it is.
Who is it?
Me, Emmett.
You scared the crap out of me.
Tried to go.
Phone's out. I haven't paid the bill yet. Come on in. I can't believe you can get any without drugging them.
She ain't talking. And it's not a crime to be banging a stripper on the side.
That envelope thing, it better have worked. Because he's leaving town.
How'd you hear that?
Heather overheard him at the hospital saying he's leaving the country.
Well, then we're screwed. The saliva and the glue were so mixed they couldn't get a proper result.
What? Oh my God, you better have another plan.
I don't know. Short of punching him in the nose or getting into his car, his house.
Honey? We're gonna go to Jenny's for a few hours, okay? He's planning on leaving. I'm not waiting.
warning you.
Move aside. It'll set fine. You'll be back to yourself in a few days. But we'll keep you here overnight, just so you can rest comfortably.
Kinda like awards night.
It's our last shot.
I know.
Proof.
What proof?
DNA match.
Did you break into his house?
No, his car.
Oh, that's much better. You performed a crime. Prove a crime.
It's a match.
Not a legal one.
Well, it's enough for another test.
You know, the first two weren't enough?
Obviously not if I found evidence that you missed. He's leaving the country. For good.
Let's go talk to the prosecutor.
You're telling me that I proved it was him and you're gonna sit on your hands?
No, we don't know what you've proved because we don't know where you got it.
This is useless. Evidence obtained by illegal means is inadmissible.
So arrest him. Test him again.
Oh, we arrest him. We tell a judge what our suspicion is based on. He'll have our badges.
Oh, wow. Your badges. That compared to a doctor who his patients.
Kimberly, we are just trying to help.
Look, I'll talk to his attorney, find a way to get him to consent to another test. Happy?
Yeah, that'll work.
My client has agreed to cooperate against my advice on one condition. When my client passes this third test, the prosecutor signs away all rights to future prosecution, and Miss Jansen drops any current or future civil cases against my client. This case will be closed forever.
Gentlemen, clearly I have nothing to hide, but this never seems to end. It begins to interfere with the well-being of my patients.
I gather you're not going to be with us much longer?
This whole business has made my life so unpleasant. Might be better for everyone.
When do you leave?
Understand, I don't want to leave. If I could put this behind me, I might reconsider. No, wait, you can't.
Oh, we didn't agree to a fingertip test.
What's the difference?
I can't risk a fingertip infection. Because of my work, I can't risk it. You'll have to take it from my arm.
I suppose,
What the?
that would be okay. Blood is blood.
I'm afraid I'm a little tense around needles.
Must have missed.
Defective needle, perhaps. It's not you.
What's he doing?
Straighten your arm out a little bit, please. Thank you. Thanks.
We're done here, I assume?
Yes, we'll get on it right away.
He knew the test was happening. He did something. Blood transfusion
Checked
or...
with forensics, it wouldn't work. The DNA recombines instantly.
But what if right before the test he had this...
It would dissipate in 2 seconds. I'm sorry, Kimberly.
the DNA on his lip balm?
Miss Brenda? Yeah, I want all prosecution files on my desk as soon as I arrive, okay? Yes,
I'm sure you'll pass this test just like all the others.
Miss Jansen, we now have legal tools to stop any further harassment. Richard, in the car, please.
One day you'll make a mistake.
Kimberly. Leave it alone. We've got his DNA. Let's just wait for the results. Kimberly, I'm going to get to the bottom of this.
I'm not normally like this.
Yeah? Well, I got to get to know the real you before I put you on the stand.
You were so tense. Are you not feeling well?
I've been better.
And your life is so rough.
You know nothing about my life. The pressures I deal with, the appearances I have to maintain. People wanting me, needing me, pulling me in every direction. People after me.
Come on, baby. Come over here.
I just have to think.
Must be hard raising a kid on your own, financially.
Not so hard I'd go after the doctor.
Well, if everyone else thinks that, why shouldn't I?
Town can't survive without a doctor.
Yeah, well, they think he's as good as it gets.
And for most of them, he is. I think he thought of me and most of the others as a perk for putting up with Rickerby.
I thought going back to school would eventually pay the bills, but caring for people was the real bonus.
You do see the irony there, don't you?
Yeah, of course.
What about Billy?
What a jerk. I guess getting the guy that every girl wants means that you constantly have to share him.
Dr. Darien, it's late.
Dolores. I was just returning from an engagement and I thought, everything quiet?
Perfectly.
I just want to make a quick round.
Detective Murray, you're not going to believe this. Not a match.
Based on restricted format polymorphism, what the hell does that mean?
The lab tech said the test was inconclusive, so not a match.
Were you not convinced?
Well, you were there. You saw them draw the blood. What the hell is inconclusive? Something's not right.
You guys better get in here.
May we come in?
What's going on?
There's been a new development.
There isn't going to be a civil case.
What, you didn't get the sample back?
We got it, but it wasn't a proper sample. Broke down or something.
It broke down. What does that mean?
The test was negative.
Well, somebody better tell me what the hell's going on around here.
The technician felt it was an improper sample. There isn't going to be a civil case because we are proceeding with the criminal case.
How are we gonna try him without any evidence?
There's been another victim.
Kimberly, we are going to trial.
Dr. Richard Darien, you're under arrest.
What?
You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be held against you in the court of law.
This is ridiculous.
You have the right
You
to
have
an
no
attorney.
evidence.
The other girl, Carrie, she has no physical evidence, only vague memories or dreams, so we have nothing to go on.
The DNA test, it's proof.
That what? That you had consensual with him? That you got angry when he wouldn't leave his wife for you and take...
Is that what you think?
And take you to his nice big house and buy you...
I never did anything to make him...
And buy you a fancy car and a membership at his goddamn country club?
That's not true! You can't think that!
I don't, but that's how hard they're gonna ride you. That's what they're gonna do to you in front of a jury, and you can't just sit there screaming.
What am I supposed to do?
Show them who you really are.
I'm expendable, that's what I am. He's a doctor, he saves lives. No one believes me, not even you.
That's what they want you to think. He's the doctor and yours. And they think that's how they'll win the case. That son of a bitch has no respect for women. He's got even less respect for you. And now he's got the whole town chanting the same curse. But you know what? This isn't about the town. This isn't even about him. This is about you. And you will win this case if you recover what he stole from you. Your self-respect. We're prepared to proceed with the case against Dr. Darien.
It's about time.
We have DNA evidence that indicates that he had some form of sexual contact with you. My job is to prove that he raped you.
As opposed to me wanting it.
Exactly. Now, unfortunately, the jury is predisposed to be on his side.
Who isn't?
Your job is to convince the jury. There will be other witnesses. We've drawn Judge Craig. She's good, smart, tough, and she'll be fair.
I don't know what it was about. She's all freaking out.
Billy, Denise, and Heather will all give their account of the night. No surprise there. The DNA lab will testify that all the tests were done according to strict guidelines. The DNA could not have been tampered with. Kresge will side with the doctor. And good old Nola, she seems to have forgotten everything, except that she talked to the doctor about his blissful marriage. Now remember, Kimberly, when it's your turn to testify, no matter what they say or what they do, just be yourself. Just stay calm and keep it simple, okay?
On the night in question, didn't you have a physical confrontation with your boyfriend?
Yes.
You thought he was cheating on you, so you had every right to lash out at him.
No.
You didn't lash out at him?
Yes, I did, but I didn't have any right to.
So I'm to assume that there's been many times that a lover has offended you, and you've personally sought revenge.
Sometimes, but he was complete.
Dr. Darien could have been your lover, couldn't he? He was already married. Did it frustrate you that he was married? That he wasn't reciprocating your affections?
No.
Did it frustrate you enough to smear the man's reputation and hold your entire town emotionally hostage?
Reputations? Oh, I guess I don't know much about reputations. Or DNA, or evidence at all for that matter. We go to doctors because we trust them.
I didn't ask for your opinion on professional etiquette.
I know what happened. I saw it. I moved out of my hometown because of it. I was in a mental hospital and I lost all my money because of it. Doctors have way more education than I'll ever have. But I know who I am, and I am not a liar. Aren't you my lawyer? How could you let him go after me like that?
What, you couldn't handle it?
No, I just...
Kimberly, you were great. You showed them what you're really made of.
Is Darien gonna talk?
Well, like I said, he doesn't have to.
I called Dr. Richard Darien.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God.
I do.
Dr. Darien, we've heard abundant testimony as to Miss Jansen's motivations, her poor economic situation, her sexual promiscuity, her obsession with you. Do you understand these findings?
Sadly, I do. As a man of good standing in my community and in my profession, I can understand how someone might want what I have. But I never thought Kimberly was capable of this.
Did you ever suspect that Kimberly was sometimes coming in for non-medical reasons?
Yes, I did. As uncomfortable as it was for me, Kimberly was very attracted to me.
No more questions?
Mr. Darien. How did you feel about Kimberly?
I thought she was a young woman who needed to get her life on track. But I used to think she was pleasant enough.
You heard her emphatically deny that she consented to having sex with you.
That's correct.
The prosecution's case against you rests on a critical piece of evidence. A DNA test matching you with semen found in Miss Jansen's underclothing. Do you deny this?
No.
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 We've already established that DNA tests were done to perfection and could not have been tampered with.
That's correct.
So you admit then that
Did you know I was born in Indonesia?
I beg your pardon?
I said, did you know I was born and raised in Indonesia?
Yes, I believe I read that in your file.
There is quite simply no rule of law. It's every man for himself.
I don't see the relevance.
As a young man, I had occasion to witness this sordid little game. Native girls. They'll say anything for a few extra rupiah. False accusations and extortion was something my family knew all too well. So, when this farm girl hatched her plot against me, I knew I had to defend myself.
I'm having a little trouble following you.
She wanted my money, my position, and I knew she would stop at nothing. She broke into my basement. She found a used condom in my refuse and smeared its contents in her underwear. This she used for her DNA sample.
We can submit evidence that shows your basement windows had bars in them, that you had an alarm system. Your wife has testified that you never used condoms. Are you asking this court to believe?
When one is determined, anything is possible. And you've seen how determined she is.
So in order to defend yourself, you performed a transfusion of some kind on yourself to avoid detection?
That would never work.
Then what? Sir, please, go on.
Her plan was clever. I needed to be twice as clever. When she came up with these false accusations, I knew there was only one way to protect my family and myself. I knew she wanted money from me, or she would ruin my reputation, force me to leave town. So, I devised a plan to avoid her trap. I created a small tube filled with someone else's blood. I sealed it at both ends. I would beat her at her own game. pain was considerable. I cut through the layers of tissue. I had to position it exactly. It was perfect. So when I gave blood, it wasn't mine that I was giving. She could come after me. But she would never get her proof. As a doctor, I'm entrusted to care for other people. I had to care for myself.
What happens, Kimmy? I'm proud of you.
It's a lot to me.
Hey.
Hey.
You're up early?
Well, you know, I wanted to beat the rush.
Sleep okay?
No, not really.
Good luck today.
Thanks. Detective?
Yeah?
One of the thoughts I had last night, besides the really bad ones, was that I wanted to thank you. Under the circumstances, I knew what you had to do.
I just hope they see the truth. I know it took me a while.
All right. Has the jury reached a verdict?
Yes, we have, Your Honor.
Richard Darien, please rise. In the case against Dr. Richard Darien, how say you?
On the charges of sexual assault, administering a noxious substance to commit an assault, and obstruction of justice, we find the defendant guilty.
Ms. Johnson, you're an extraordinary young woman to endure all that you've been through. And I'm of the firm opinion that had this happened to anyone else but you, we probably wouldn't be here today. Had it not been for your bravery and your determination, this sexual predator would probably still be on the streets. Now, your family and your community can be very proud of you. This case is closed.